morning to all. According to our syllabus, we are in fifth unit, and the fifth unit is wireless sensor networks. In this unit, we already completed two chapters, two concepts. Before entering into the third concept, we will discuss a small revision of those two concepts. Those two concepts are first one introduction concept and the second one sensor network architecture. So in these two, the first one is introduction concept. Introduction concept says sensor networks are highly distributed networks and it is a small lightweight wireless nodes. That means sensors is also treated as nodes in the networks, and what type of nodes means they are very lightweighted wireless nodes. So these sensor networks are used in the network to sense any actions. So these sensor nodes in the sensor network consist of three subsystems also. They are sensor subsystems, processing subsystems, and communication subsystems. Sensor subsystem means they are used for sensing the environment, and the second subsystem, processing subsystem, are mainly used for performs local computations of sensed data. For computation purpose, this subsystem is using. Then the third subsystem is nothing but communication subsystem. This subsystem is responsible for message exchanging between the neighbors of sensor nodes. So these are the three subsystems are mainly used in sensor networks. Then these sensor networks have some advantages. They are the sensor networks are robust and the sensor networks are more reliable and they provide more accurate data and they are fault tolerant also. So these are the four different advantages of sensor networks. And among these things, the sensor networks are perform two most important operations. They are one, data dissemination and data gathering. So here data dissemination means nothing but propagation of data or distributing the data or queries throughout the network. So this is the concept of data dissemination. Then data gathering, second one, data gathering is nothing but collection of different data from different individual sensor networks to the sink. So that means nothing but gathering the different data from different sensor nodes. So these are the two different important operations performed by your sensor nodes in the networks. Then apart from this, the introduction concept may have other three important points also there. They are nothing but one is applications of sensor networks in comparison with ad hoc wireless networks and issues and challenges in designing a sensor networks. Then if you come to the first point of applications of sensor networks, so the sensor networks are mainly used in different areas. In that, some of them is it is used in military environment and used in finding the natural calamities environment and health sector and in home also. That means to providing the smart homes, there also we are using sensors and it is also used in office buildings. For example, in some offices, when you reach near to the doors, the office doors are opening. It is only by using sensors. Then the last application is it is also used in warehouses also. So these are the different uses of or applications of sensor networks. Then the second point, comparison with ad hoc wireless network. The most important comparison is compared with ad hoc wireless networks, the nodes are more in sensor networking also. Then if you come to the third point, issues and challenges in designing a sensor network means the most important issue and challenge in the designing of sensor network is it consumes more energy compared with ad hoc wireless networks. So these are the concepts we need to revise in the introduction environment. Then come to the second concept. The second concept is sensor network architecture. So this is one of the classification in sensor networks. So the sensor networks are broadly classified into two architectures. They are first one layered architecture and second one clustered architecture. Now what is mean by layered architecture? Layer architecture maybe look like in this format. In this architecture, the base station will placed in a center point and all the other sensor nodes are arranged in the layered formats. Just we are looking in the diagram in the format the layer architecture is represented. Then the second architecture is clustered architecture. In the clustered architecture also base station will act as a center point of the sensor networks, and all the sensor networks which are around in the base stations, they are created in the form of clusters. Clusters means homogeneous types of nodes or some group of nodes are created as a clusters. In each cluster, one of the node act as a master type. All the other nodes are communicating with that master node, and that master node directly communicating with base stations. With the help of these base station, one cluster nodes can communicate with other cluster nodes. The data flow will be shown here by using some arrows, and dark circles are called as sensors and double circled concepts are called as cluster headers. So this is the concept of cluster architecture. So these two concepts are be completed already in the class. So once we revise now, then we will move to the concepts actual concept. So we need to discuss the third concept. The third concept in the fifth unit is data dissemination. So what is meant by data dissemination means data distribution throughout the network by using data dissemination algorithms, and these data may be used by these sensor networks. So nothing but data dissemination is the process by which queries or data are routed in the sensor networks. That means the data is distributed in the sensor networks. So that is nothing but data dissemination. So the data collected by different sensor nodes has to be communicated to base station or any other nodes interested in that data. That means what are the data is distributed in the network, those data is collected by some networks for the communication with the base station or any other nodes in that network. Based on the interest, the data is communicated. So in this manner, in the network, we have three different types of nodes are there. So they are nothing but one is source nodes and event nodes and sink nodes. So what is mean by source node means the nodes which are generates the data is called as source nodes, and these nodes simply generating the data. That data is or that information is reported by some other nodes. Those nodes are called as events. So data generated by some nodes called as source, and those information is reported by some other intermediate nodes called event nodes, and some other nodes are there. They are called as seeking nodes. These nodes are seeks the information which are in the event nodes. So those nodes will be called as sink nodes. So generally in data distribution environment we have three different types of nodes. The nodes who are generating the data, they are called as source nodes, and which nodes are reporting the data called as event nodes, and some nodes which are interested on that data for to know about that information. Such type of nodes are called as sink nodes. Then this data dissemination is also called as data diffusion. It consists of two-step process. So that means it is a two-step process. Data dissemination is a two-step process. Those steps are one is interest propagation process, and second one is data propagation process. Now come to the first one. What is mean by interest propagation? Interest propagation is a descriptor for a particular kind of data or event that a node is interested in, such as temperature, intrusion, or presence of bioagents. That means some nodes which keeps the data and says the interested concept. For example, in the environment or in our day-to-day life environment, different peoples are there. All the people may not interest on same concept. Some person may interest on studies, some person may interest on education, some person may interest on games. For example, any other person, here person means represented as nodes. So if any one of the node or person, he wants to know some information, he reach that interested person only. Here also in the network, so any node which is interested on any particular kind of data, they ask that particular interested node. That interest is propagated. So that is nothing but interest propagation process. Then come to the second one, data propagation process. The data propagation process means if a node asks that interest node, that interest node wants to propagate the data. How it is propagating means with the use of paths. Always it selects shortest path. It does not select weaker or longer path to propagate the data. So these are the basic information about data dissemination. Now we are going to discuss what are the different algorithms are using for disseminating the interest and data routing. So according to this point of view, we have different concepts are there. In that, the first concept is flooding. So we already know what is mean by flooding concept. Flooding concept means, so in the network we have different types of nodes, different number of nodes are there. So one of the node distributing the packets to other nodes in the network. That means in the form of packet broadcasting. So all the nodes in the network are receiving that packets except the distributed node. That means source node may not receive that packet. So this is the concept of flooding. So according to our concept now, this flooding technique does not require any complex topological maintenance or route discovery algorithm. It does not require any complex topology or route discovery algorithms. And the flooding may have some disadvantages also. Those disadvantages are, one is implosion, and second one overlap, and third one resource blindness. Here what is mean by implosion? Implosion means it occurs when node receives copies of same message from many of its neighbors. That means, so same single node may receive number of copies of data from its neighbors. That means duplicate data is received with the help of flooding. So this is one of the disadvantage, is called as implosion. Then second disadvantage is overlap. So overlapping means nothing but in the network one node may exist in one region and the same node may exist in the another region also. So two regions, single node. So in that manner the regions are overlapping and coverage is also overlapping. So in the flooding environment, this overlapping is also one of the disadvantage for nodes. And the third disadvantage is resource blindness. Resource blindness means in flooding protocols, it does not consider the available energy at the nodes and result many redundant transmissions are possible. So while doing redundant transmissions, it generally reduces the network life also. So that's why, so flooding may have, these are the three different types of disadvantages, and this is the concept of flooding. Then what is the next concept is gossiping. Gossiping is nothing but it is a modified version of flooding, just simply like flooding, but it is modified. How it is modified means, so here the nodes do not broadcast the packets, it just send the packets only to randomly selected nodes only. So in flooding, we broadcast the data to all the nodes. But in gossiping, we may not broadcast the data. We just simply randomly select some neighbor nodes and send the data to those nodes only. So with the help of this gossiping concept, we avoid the problem of implosion, but it takes long time to pass the message or propagate the message throughout the networks. So here we are avoiding one of the disadvantage of flooding, but it takes long time to propagate the data. And through gossiping, we considerably lower overheads than flooding. So what are the problems in flooding? So there are low overheads in gossiping. That means the disadvantages are decreased, and it does not guarantee that all the nodes in the network will receive the message. So gossiping never gives the guarantee for all the nodes. Why? Because means we randomly selecting the nodes. In that random selection, we may miss some of the nodes. So those nodes may not receive the data. This is the only drawback in gossiping. But compared with flooding, gossiping is better data propagation concept. This is your second concept. Then come to the third one. The third one is rumor routing. So this rumor routing is an agent-based path creation algorithm. So what is this? Means the main concept of the in this rumor routing is, so when you want to transfer the data in the network from one node to another node, you must create the paths. To create the paths, we are using different algorithms. On the basis of that, this rumor routing, it uses agent based. So with the help of agent, he create the path, that means shortest path, and sends the data from one node to another node. How it is, we will go through the point. When an agent find a node, so agent find a node whose path of an event is longer than its own. That means, so the agent find a node. In that node, it maintains the routing table. In that table, so what is the path he wants to select? If it is longer, then it automatically update the node's routing table. So agent have that capacity to update, find out what is the length of the path and updating that one. The main working of routing algorithm, that means rumor routing algorithm, is illustrated in the figure. So this is nothing but rumor routing concept. So just come to the diagram A. So here a agent is there. So agent is related to point P. That means the node P. Just come to the point. Here the agent wants to move to the event. Why? Because event may contain the report information which interest you want. That information is in the event. So if you approach the event, he provide all the interested data to you. So that's why the agent is wants to target that event. So when you come to this table, the agent is targeted the event 1. So what is the distance from agent to event 1? So it says 2. That means, so the agent is moving from B to E1. So two nodes will be there. This is the distance. Then if you come to the below table, so event is E1 and the distance is 3 and the direction is C. So if this in this column data wants to satisfy, means the agent must be in the place of the node A. Then only he may get the distance 3 to reach the event 1 to C. That means, so he can move from A. So 3 distance is 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 nodes. That is the distance. That is the distance. So moving through the direction this way. Then if you come to the next one, E2. So E2 means it may have only 2 nodes. So agent may be in node A. So node A 1, 2. Only 2 distances will be there. So through C. Then if you come to the, so this is the table of node A. Then if you come to the table of A, after modified, then what is the table modification? Agent A, E1, the distance is 3. If it is clearly the agent in A2. In the previous diagram, agent in B place, but here the agent in A place. So 1, 2, 3. The distance is 3. Then for E2 even, the distance is 3. That means the agent moving from A to B, B to E1, E to E2. That means 1, 2, 3. The same manner here also. Then now come to the actual concept of rumor routing. So in some way the query is generated for the event 1. For the event 1, the query is generated. That query is generated by the node P, and it generally random walk. It goes to the random walk and select an agent called A node. So from the A node to reach E1 event, which is the shortest path, I think through B is the shortest path. So that's why the agent selected to pass this query to the event through A to B and to B to E. So this is the overall concept of rumor routing. So this is the concept of rumor routing. Then shall we go to the next one? The next one is sequential assignment to routing. Sequential assignment to routing, shortly called as SAR. This routing algorithm is a set of routing algorithm, is in a set of routing algorithm. That means, so for routing we have set of algorithm. In that set of routing algorithm, this sequential routing algorithm performs organization organization and mobility management in sensor networks. That means these routing have the capability to arrange the nodes and to maintain the mobility also. So these are the two main works done by this sequential assignment routing. And this sequential assignment routing creates multiple trees. That means in data structures, what is the tree structure we have? Such type of trees are created by this sequential routing. I will show you in the diagram also. But here in the root or in the tree, we have a root node. So here also we have a root node in the tree. That means is a one hope neighbor of the sink node. So where the sink node is there, from there the neighbor node will be treated as the root node. So I will show in the diagram. Okay. So each tree grows outward from the sink and avoids nodes with low throughput or high delay. So always the nodes are developing or growing outwards from the sink, and it does not involve the nodes which have low throughput or high delay. Those nodes may not be involved in the tree. And the end of the procedure, most nodes belongs to the multiple trees. So most nodes must be existed in multiple trees. Just now we go to the diagram of sequential assignment routing. So the diagram simply look like in the form of tree structure, just we saw in the data structures. So here these dark points are called as nodes, sensor nodes, and these thick lines will be called as tree rooted at node A. That means what are the root going to the tree format. So from A, so those are all drawn as thick lines, and these dotted lines are called as tree rooted at node B. That means what are the root links are generated from B. So they are all represented in dotted lines. Then these thick dotted lines are nothing but one hope link of sinks. So that means this node is treated as sink. So the roots may be existed the one hope distance. That means this one may be treated as root node, and this one as treated as root node, this one and this one. So when you are traveling the data from the sink to root and root to C, it may select the shortest path. How the shortest path is also selected means based on the priority. For representing the priority also, it represents the energy sources and weight of quality of service metrics. Based on these two parameters, we can represent the data's priority. If the high priority concept select less distance route, and the low priority data selects high distance or high delay routes. So this is the concept of sequential assignments, and that is explaining here. So choose SAR algorithm chooses the path with high estimated energy sources and weighted quality of service metrics. Each handle the priority packets, which is computed by the priority level and delays. So always high priority packets takes low delay paths and low priority packets uses high greater delay paths. So this is the concept of sequential assignment routing, SAR. So in this video just we discuss the four concepts of data dissemination. So other concepts we will discuss in next video. So now we are going to discuss the assignment questions of this of this concepts what we discuss now about the data dissemination and four concepts. Based on that we have some assignment questions. Those questions are given in 2 marks questions. 5 2 marks questions are given here. Those are: first one, define data dissemination, write about the 3 different nodes in data dissemination, write about the data dissemination process, and define flooding and its disadvantages, and define gossiping. So I requesting all the students write the assignment of these 5 questions on the paper or notebook, and take a snap and upload that one to my mail ID for our verifications. So if you have any doubts in this concept, so please put the type of put this concept or ask the doubts in the WhatsApp before 3 o'clock, and we will come and connect with you before 3:30 or 4 o'clock in Zoom cloud meeting software. Thank you.